Hi, Roy here on my channel Roy Reads Anything, where one thing I've been doing is looking at old magazines and in particular Christmas related editions or Christmas specials, that kind of thing. Last time on Festive Newsstand was looking at Science Fiction Monthly, which was a magazine largely featuring artwork from paperback SF covers. One thing I've been thought since then, how it'd be very difficult to have a magazine like that now, when magazines are so sorry, not magazines, when book covers tend to be abstract or like one monolithic image, like a massive axe or something, on a fantasy book. Who would want a magazine with just those sort of stark images like they have today? So that's my old man's complaint of the day. But never mind, because it's 1976 and DC Comics are giving us Christmas with the Superheroes. Is that in focus? I think it is. Christmas with the Superheroes, a supersized, bit like Marvel Treasury Editions, extra big special issue of stuff costing $1. So on the cover, you get this nice image. Superman is flying a sled through the sky. Santa's sitting at the front, but there's also a cheerful looking Batman, Wonder Woman, Kane, the keeper of the House of Mystery, and two Golden Age characters, Sandman and his sidekick, Sandy. Then on the back cover, no ads, you get the same image, but we're looking out from one of our own homes through a window, seeing that happening, silhouetted against the moon. So what do you get inside? Well, inside back cover, go straight to that. It's every child's dream. Pictures of the DC Comics editors with little Christmas poems attached to them, and a maze game. But moving swiftly over those things, we get stories. You get a Superman story. Superman, then as now the DC's biggest character, I guess, but this is a reprint from 1940. 1940, when Superman was very much a social justice kind of character. And in this story, apart from this fabulous 40s hairstyle of Lois Lane's, we get what he's bothered about here is children with no presents. And by contrast with that, you get this rich kid. We see him throwing his toy on the ground because he doesn't think it's good enough, and his butler's just handed it to him. So Superman's taking this child on a trip, a bit like a sort of A Christmas Carol spirit, showing him things to teach him how the world works. So here he's peering through a tenement window. And peering through tenement windows is something that Superman did quite a lot of, because that's where he would find the injustices, like a child with a broken doll or a little boy with no toys at all. Then you get Extra Jeopardy with a couple of baddies, Dr. Grouch and Mr. Meanie, and they're trying to persuade Santa to not give out presents, and Lois Lane's been attached to a rocket. All sorts of things are happening. But Superman saves the day, helps Santa out. That little kid, the little rich kid, he's now giving presents away. He's learned it's more fun to give than to receive. And Superman is confirming that that's what it's all about there. And wishing us a Merry Christmas. So, there you go. Then you get a modern story of the time. I'm talking Batman, we're talking Neil Adams artwork, and we're talking here's Batman atop a building, out on patrol. The bat signal goes up, And Commissioner Gordon's basically telling him to have a day off. It's not a night for you to be out patrolling, 'tis the season to be jolly. But crime and disaster aren't inclined to observe the holidays, says a rather spooky-looking Batman. So he goes along with it. He thinks, I can enjoy myself for once, and he's singing carols. Not with the NYPD choir, made famous in the Pogue song, even though apparently there is no such thing, but with the GCPD choir. And they sing carols all night. Batman's totally into it. Meanwhile, the crimes are like solving themselves. So there's these kids who steal a present from a woman, rip it open, see it's actually a Batman action figure. And just the sight of a toy Batman shames them into giving the present back to the lady. And there's all sorts of other things happening. All sorts of heartwarming things are happening by themselves. Meanwhile, Batman's just singing along. What's going on? Wondering about how it's all happened. That was the Silent Night of the Batman. A strange little allegory, really. Then we go into House of Mystery. So this was one of DC's supernatural comics, where Cain and Abel, there's also House of Secrets. They're each a keeper of one of these houses within which a kind of portmanteau stories happen, and they've been brought back by Neil Gaiman in his stuff. I'm not sure who this lady is in the sexy Santa outfit, but he introduces a little story called Night Prowler, which is a lot more heartwarming and tame than it sounds. And then we're already in the middle. What? So we now get great pin-up Christmas greetings from the superheroes. So here's all our superhero chums personally telling us, wishing us a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, season's greetings, holiday greetings. Well, can't argue with that. Then we got Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, who's just wished us a happy Christmas, and obviously her Greek mythology and being sort of created by Zeus and that sort of thing doesn't stop her getting into the Christmas spirit. And here we have a story narrated by a fir tree. This is from 1942. The enemies are Nazi fifth columnists, and it's Christmas time. There's a family in jeopardy from these Nazi fellows. So Wonder Woman does all sorts of cool stuff. She's flying on skis, and she's vaulting over a ravine, and she's deploying the magic lasso, which is, of course, unbreakable, as well as making people tell the truth. But then she gets tied up. Now, this whole getting tied up thing, I don't know if anybody's seen there's a movie about the couple, really, who created Wonder Woman, and there was a theory embedded in these stories to do with what we'd now call BDSM having a kind of therapeutic value. So that's kind of there. Maybe not one for the kiddies, nor the bit where she's getting spanked. But the fir tree's back. The fir tree's been blown up and it's hurtling down a mountain with an avalanche, and Wonder Woman's got to stop that happening. And that's all good. And then now she's delivering presents at the end. So I think we can see that the level of realism in 1940s comics wasn't quite what we might be used to today. Santa's Scrambled Super List, word puzzle. Then it's Sandman. Not the gothy King of Dreams dude. This is his predecessor, really, Sandman, who before this was way cooler. I mean, now he just looks like regular superhero guy, but he used to wear a fedora and a gas mask and a trench coat and have a gas gun. Fantastic. But it's a Joe Simon and Jack Kirby Christmas tale. Again, you get the sort of social commentary as well. I think it's to do with warring department stores. Good baddies are getting punched in a festive fashion. Merry Xmas, everybody, say Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. That's the last story. It's a little bit of a thin dish up, this. Sing along with the superheroes, though. Let's see which Christmas carols does belong to which superhero. So Superman favours Silent Night. For the Marvel family, it's Deck the Halls. A mini choir with Wonder Woman, Robin, Hawkman, who appears to be snarling for some reason, and Green Lantern are singing Adeste Fidelis, bracket, so come all ye faithful, translated by F. Oakley. We're learning as well as enjoying. Kings of Orient sings Batman. He can't stop now, since his night in the night of song. Annoying comedy characters Sugar and Spike singing Away in a Manger, and Santa himself. Jingle Bells is what he goes for. And that's it. So I think if I'd got this in 1976, I would have liked that Batman story. I would have been a little bit nonplussed by the sort of what I would have seen as ridiculousness of the Golden Age stories. The older I get, the more tolerant I get for nonsense. So talking fir trees, Santa Claus in every flipping story, I'm totally happy with that now. And it's not about the contents, really. It's about the lovely package. I mean, this would be a great thing to get as a little kid. And you've got to learn about Nazi fifth columnists, BDSM, etc. From somewhere. Good. So, Christmas from the superheroes. I might come back with a Marvel Treasury Edition, which is the sort of Marvel equivalent, plus other stuff I've been reading, from Victorian stuff, been reading some 30s stuff. That could happen, or something else will. So, thanks for that, and yes, back soon with something else.